It is Friday, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, in a public school, in a small classroom. There is a teacher in front of 40 students who listen with boredom to everything that comes out of the teacher's mouth. Anxious for the class to end and to be able to go home, the only thing left to do is to wait and to spend the time until the hour arrives. This is a clear sign of traditional education, and perhaps many of us were victims of this, where the only objective of the education was that the students obtained good results in the final evaluations, no matter what had to be done. From the concern for the improvement of education arises neuroscience in education, which is a great tool to know how the brain works and how the neurobiological processes involved in learning to make it more effective and optimal. Can you imagine that factors such as emotions, age, what you eat, your social context, among others, can affect the way you learn? It is incredible, but it's true. And this is what neuroscience in education is in charge of, to investigate how these factors can be used of students to learn in a better way, leaving traditional and outdated methods. Get ready, because in this video I'm going to show you how the contribution of neuroscience have a great impact on education and how you can benefit from this tool. In this video we are going to focus on the neuroscience applied to English learning, and to begin I want to mention that the study of the neuroscience is based on the central nervous system of our brain, for which they have done various investigations and have found that there are parts of the brain responsible for a specific task. And although it doesn't seem something new, previously it was believed that in the brain cognitive processes were generated together, but now we know that there are areas of the brain which have a function. For this, we obtain different divisions such as the two hemispheres of the brain, the lobes, and the specific areas of language which are the areas of Wernicke and Broca's, which have the function of understanding and producing the language. Taking into account that depending on the age, the brain has different cognitive capacities, we address another important factor, which is age. Age is a very interesting factor for learning a language, since if the child is exposed to a language during the first 2 years of age, she or he acquires it without any problem and it becomes his or her native language. From here also arises the way in which the language should be taught depending on the age, since adolescents and adults are usually taught grammatical structures of the language, unlike children who are taught through various methods such as singing, rhythms, painting, among others, according to the cognitive level of the children. Regardless of the age range in which the learners are, there are factors that alter the success or failure of the learning, and they are emotions and the way of feeling. First, we will talk about emotions, which was not taken into account before, but thanks to studies, we have realized that depending on the mode of students will be the results of learning acquired. So emotional intelligence in the classroom is something that should be implemented if you want to an improvement. Likewise, we have the way we nourish our body, and although it is a factor that is a little taken into account, it is fundamental and has a great impact in the classroom, because if we don't eat well, our cognitive process cannot be carried out in their best. Finally, I can emphasize that this science is also responsible for studying linguistic phenomena such as morphology, syntax, pragmatics, semantics, and others, which in the area of communication play a role of utmost importance, as this will give us a complete learning and we will be useful while learning a second language. We will also be able to overcome some challenges that may arise in the process, such as linguistic patterns, which generate phenomena of combining phrases or words of the native language and the target language when spoken at the same time. It also explains the use of language depending on the context, which is a great tool for the learner. In conclusion, I think that the neuroscience has revolutionized the way of teaching and has given us also not to say with the thoughts that we had years ago. A great benefit I see from this is the wide field of possibilities to build activities which interest children, and that will result in a meaningful learning. So I know I will use much of the knowledge learned in this course in the future.